to the Tech Data World podcast, the independent voice in aerospace, defense, and space technical information, covering all the news, reviews, gossip, opinion, software, standards, and specifications in the information production and deployment field.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our, what I hope is turning into our weekly TDW podcast. Welcome to those of you who are listening either in-app or on the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store, or indeed anybody who might actually be listening through our website. Those of you that are joining us on YouTube, hello and welcome. Yes, you're seeing me all DJ'd up. And please let me know if you like this kind of thing, if you like this kind of content. So what do I want to talk about this week? Well, this week it's all about the S1000D User Forum, which is happening this year. And I've had lots of questions now about will I or do I plan on going to the S1000D User Forum? And I thought, well, why not? Let's turn that into a little podcast. And the reason I thought that it would make a good little podcast topic is because I'll tell you the kind of stuff that I think we're going to learn from the S1000D User Forum, why I think you should be there, as well as some of the stuff that I think we should be looking out for from the User Forum this year. So I'm going to give you some background, tell you all about it from my perspective, the kind of stuff that I think we should be looking out for, and then you can let me know what you think. So, for those of you who don't know, the S1000D User Forum is the kind of annual get-together of anybody in the S1000D community, anybody who wants to use S1000D, planning to use S1000D, wants to get involved with the development of S1000D. And a little factoid for you, I actually came up with the idea of the first ever S1000D conference a long time ago now, and I think it was must be at least 15 years ago, and we held it at Boston Lakes in the UK, and it seems to have morphed over the years into a event that's now owned by the community, looked after by the community. So those guys that actually help develop the standards and the specifications actually run these events too, which is actually I think a good idea and a great idea. So these are actually great opportunities to meet people who are involved in the development of the specification, the Paul Haslams of the world, the Tam Malloys of the world, these kind of guys you can go and meet at these conferences, and you can speak to them about like-minded problems that we're all having in the sector. So the S1000D User Forum, as I said, is all about bringing the community together in terms of the best practices around S1000D and how we can use S1000D and where we can use S1000D. And is it appropriate for our projects is a big thing. So this year it will be held from the 14th to the 17th of October in London. Now let me talk a little bit about London, because I'm getting lots of questions from my customers around, is Brexit going to affect the attendance of the S1000D User Forum? The reality is I think it's had an effect, but I think there's other things that are having an effect on whether people are actually going to go to the S1000D User Forum or not. So let's talk about Brexit first. It's not the organisers' fault that 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago, they set the date for the London event, and Brexit was then delayed and deferred and has now turned into a Halloween delivery Brexit. So I know companies that are coming in spite of Brexit. They actually are coming along to the S1000D User Forum. They don't care about Brexit. They don't really care about the politics that's going on right now, but there are also organisations that are not coming because of the uncertainty of Brexit, and that is the truth. So Brexit has had a part, but I think that the reality is that the show itself, the S1000D User Forum, has got a couple of other things going up against it. One, it's in London, which is very expensive. We've only just booked my hotel yesterday. We tried to get at the venue, and the venue itself was the best part of 400 quid for a night, and we just simply weren't going to do that. By the way, guys, your link to the hotel from the ADS website's not working, and so we called the hotel. Couldn't get. I'm a gold member with Hilton. Couldn't get any decent rates. So Claire found me a hotel about a 7-8 minute walk away, which is half the price, and probably just as nice. So I'm going, but I'm staying in a different place. But the reality is as well is that there's a load of other events happening in and around the September, October, November time period, and these are long-standing events like TCOM in Germany, which is the big kind of generic technical communication, technical translation event, as well as we have DSEI, which is happening in London too during September. I'll be there if anybody's going. And DSEI, if you don't know what that is, it's a huge defense equipment demonstration sales platform at Excel in London, and if you've never been there, it's worth going along. I've been invited along as press, and we will be covering it for the TDW magazine, and it's also clashing with, along with TCOM, Adobe have got a partner event that's happening in Stuttgart at the same time. Raytheon, for example, have got their own Raytheon Eagle Suite, EPS Suite Users Forum, which is also happening not long after the... is it after or before? I can't remember, but I've been invited. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I'll be in Luxembourg training over those dates. There's also the ISTC show, which is a smaller show here in the UK. And again, that's going to clash with a little bit of the S1000D show. And then in November, you've got our big event, TDW Live. So little bit of the eggs are all stacking against the S1000D show, unfortunately. Some pretty much outside of their control. But anyway, so firstly, a big shout out to the guys who are organising the S1000D show, because they've granted TDW a press pass, which means that I'm coming along to cover the event for podcasts, for blogs like this, also for the magazine, lots of photos, that kind of stuff. What is it I plan to learn from the S1000D show? It's very straightforward. I want to see what the vendors are up to, who's innovating in the market, is anybody innovating in the market? I know what my customers want to achieve, and I want to see if the S1000D solution providers are actually following along and actually delivering what it is those customers need or want. Now, I do know that I've had a couple of invites from some vendors to sit down and chat with them and talk about their software solutions and what it is that they are offering. So I know that there's a company coming in from France who's offered to sit down with me and give me a demo of their software. I look forward to that. Obviously, there'll be some TDW member companies there. I've mentioned Raytheon already. SDL will be there. WebEx Systems will be there. Sonovision will be there demonstrating some of their stuff. And, Sonovision are developing some good capability right now in our market. So I will be spending some time with TDW member companies that are there as well. We will be doing some podcasts in the evenings. I want to record some podcasts with some members and kind of get their feedback on the event and what they thought. The big thing from the event, from my perspective, is it's going to be issue 5.0 release and launch, as I understand. So I attended the S1000D events both in Amsterdam and in Seville, and there was kind of a common theme came out of there in terms of what our users wanted from the specification, and it'll be interesting to see how much of that has actually made it into the specification, if any. So with issue 5.0 coming out, I know that there's a couple of my customers coming along specifically for the issue 5.0 release to see the key features. So I'll be attending the Paul Haslam presentation, where he normally gives a presentation on the highlights of what's in 5.0. We'll then do a podcast. maybe if we could persuade Paul to sit behind a microphone and maybe do an interview with him, that would be quite cool. But, we will certainly look at the key features coming out of 5.0, and is it going to be worthwhile adopting? Should we be looking at migrating to 5.0? What are the technical challenges with adopting 5.0? That kind of stuff. So we're going to look at that. Now, so if you can get along to the show, I will be there the full 4 days, and I'm going to turn up for the workshop day on day one. So, and I believe that starts around about lunchtime. I don't think there's much going on before then. I only live about 60 miles from London, so I can get to London relatively quickly. It's just that the transportation between here and London is pretty poor. So I will arrive on the Monday, and I will attend the workshop days. I'm not planning on learning particularly. I'm not expecting to learn too much from those workshops, but I just like to see how people position and present the use of S1000D. Because I sat in one in Seville and thought, missing the point a little bit by one of the guys that gave a presentation. So, and I'll be there. Originally, I was going to disappear on the Wednesday, but the Thursday is the ILS day, the support day. And actually, it looks really interesting. Some of the presentations that are on there look pretty solid. And so I've extended my stay. I'm going to stay until the Thursday. Looking forward to the networking evening, I think on the Tuesday, which is, I think we're going to the RAF Museum. I understand it's going to be a bit of a pain in the backside getting there. I think there's going to be lots of people just jumping in taxis and going. But, that looks fun. But I shall be going along and having a look around there as well. Again, I'm going to be taking lots of photos and putting stuff up on Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So if you do want to sit down with me and have a conversation around S1000D and using S1000D for your projects in your organizations, then I'm more than happy to sit and have a chat. But please do get in touch with me before the event, because I want to see, there's some presentations I would like to see as well. There are kind of some same old presentations which I'm not particularly interested in. But if you are going to be there and you'd like to meet, please let me know. Michael@techdataworld.com. Be more than happy to have the conversations with you whilst I'm there. And if you want a copy of the magazine while I'm there, the TDW magazine, just give me a tap on the shoulder and I'll take your business card and I'll add you to the distribution. We can certainly get you on there. And but let me know what it is you want me to find out for you, for the guys that can't make it to the specification user forum. Then I will be more than happy to do some digging and fishing for you and go and speak to the right people who are there. So that's the answer to the question. Am I going? Yes, I am. And I will be there for the full 4 days. If you can make it, I think it would be thoroughly worthwhile. And I look forward to meeting any of you that might be coming along. See you then.